Okay, class, welcome to Chapter 8, Political Participation and Voting. And I actually have a documentary for you to watch this week. I really probably should have put that Chapter 11, I think, which is on elections, but it applies to, it's on voting, and of course it's about the continued fabrication lie, the idea that the election was stolen. It's a Frontline documentary. I have it here, Democracy on Trial, because again, as you'll see when you watch that, what a threat that is to democracy, because it's really undermining our entire system, because it's not true. The 2020 election was not stolen, and the attempts to overthrow that election is seriously a threat to our democracy. And again, in November, we're going to have another election, and it's pretty unpredictable as to what might happen then. One thing, in case I haven't mentioned this to you, I mean, we can be assured that President Trump, former President Trump, is not going to concede, and he'll say it's stolen. He'll say he won, and he may win legitimately, but if he loses, he will say it was stolen again, and then what's going to happen? And so who knows on that? But anyways, that documentary talks a lot about the current charges that the former president faces, including in Georgia with attempts to overturn the election there through intimidation and coercion. So he's on trial for felonies there. And then the case, the federal case against Trump, trying to overturn the election there. So you'll watch that and take notes on that. As far as the chapter goes, political participation in elections, one of the things that you'll see is the United States, which prides itself on being the country that started democracy in its modern form. We actually have low voter turnout, lower than most other countries in the world. Most people do not participate. Well, I say most people. During presidential election years, the turnout in 2020 was 66%. That means 34% of the people didn't even bother to vote. And that was a high turnout, because it was a really controversial election, as you know. So the numbers have gone up a little bit, but it still pales to, say, 86% in Sweden. So nearly everyone votes there. Which is sad. And the voter participation is much lower during midterms. And then other ways of political participation, being a part of campaigns, and then participation by age and race and ethnicity. You'll see information about that as well. Gender and religion and the roles that plays. Political mobilization. So I hope that now that you guys, most of you are 18, a lot of you are going to turn 18 soon, within a year or two, but it is important to be active in the political process. If you don't like the system, then work to change it. But it is tough, I'll tell you, to get people to care, to get them to go to the polls, and especially to get them to actually do something is really difficult. But it's very important. And we have these two parties, and both parties are really important for democracy, because it's important to have conservatives and liberals and different viewpoints and to engage in that democratic process. And so that's what you need to do. Voting works. The system's not rigged. Get out there, whether you're conservative or you're liberal, and be a part of the system. But again, it's difficult. And so it talks about registration requirements and voter identification requirements. And that is essential as well, because those vary from state to state. And that's a lot of what this chapter is about. So I'm going to keep it short this week because the documentary is long. And as always, email me if you have questions.